have a secret to tell you. I'm psychic. No, really, I bet I can tell you what you did yesterday, what you're doing today, and what you're going to do tomorrow. In fact, it's the same thing you're all doing right now. It's sitting. Okay, so obviously I'm not actually psychic, but I do know the average Canadian spends almost 11 hours a day engaged in sedentary behaviors, like sitting, reclining, or lying. And not the lying I just did, but lying down. When you think about it, we are sedentary almost everywhere. In our cars, at work, at school, with our friends, even eating. So what's the big deal? Why is sitting so bad? Well, research has shown that the longer we sit for, and the more often we sit, the greater our risk for chronic diseases, like heart disease, hypertension, diabetes, even some cancers. But what if there's more to health than just chronic disease? Imagine a healthy person. What do they look like? It can be hard to see things like heart disease or hypertension, but they look happy, and they probably feel happy too. And if you ask them how satisfied they are with life, they'd probably say, pretty satisfied. So instinctively, we know there's more to health than just the absence of chronic disease. In my field, we call this subjective well-being, and it essentially encompasses how you feel and how satisfied with life you are. Now, I know what you're thinking, figuratively. What does sitting have to do with subjective well-being? Well, remember those high levels of sitting that lead to chronic disease? They might also be linked to lower subjective well-being. But does more sitting cause lower subjective well-being, or does lower subjective well-being lead to more sitting? See, that's the thing we don't know yet. But don't worry, I'm here. That's why I'm here. My research focuses on manipulating the sedentary behavior of university students to see the impact it has on their subjective well-being. For example, if we take a university student who's very active and we make them more sedentary, what impact does that have on their subjective well-being? And vice versa with an inactive student. Answers to these questions are important. Remember how much sitting we do as Canadians? It's a lot. And the problem is there are no guidelines for sedentary behavior, unlike physical activity. But if we can show that changing our sitting can positively impact our subjective well-being, well then maybe we can inform guidelines. Maybe we can improve the health of all Canadians. Maybe we can make life a little more satisfying. So please, stand up with me. It's honestly to make me feel better, but it might make you feel better too. Thanks.